Okay.
So we will be sharing with Cholponai, and Cholponai, you can start whenever Kaloyan gives you the permission.
Now we are in Zoom, in YouTube.
Good.
We can start.
Okay. Greetings, dear participants. Thank you all for joining us today. And I'm very happy and excited to be having this meeting alongside with Matti. And we have drafted an agenda for today's meeting. And we have it in both languages for your convenience. So first of all, we'd like to start with the welcoming and opening remarks. And then our agenda is quite short. The third item on the agenda is the mission statement that we drafted for the working group. And the next one is choosing the chairperson and the secretary. And the next point is the schedule of the online meetings for 2022 and the other business. If we have any other items on the agenda, or like if you would like to propose something, and closing of the meeting. So this is the short agenda that we have for today. And for those who don't know me, my name is Cholponai, and I'm based in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. It's one of the small Central Asian countries, and I represent Aigine Cultural Research Center. We've been accredited in 2014, and we were honored to be invited to co-facilitate this meeting, and it was Matti who approached us, and we've been having several meetings already during this year on the working group. So thank you again for coming today, and I guess we can just go, since we have a very limited time, we can go forward, and I will give the floor to Matti so he can go on with the mission statement.
Okay, thank you, Cholponai. Can you
Yep, I will stop the sharing screen. Yep.
So I will go maybe a few words from my behalf also, for maybe somebody is here who hasn't been before. So we have had this working group established last year, and we have had this year, we already have had 3 online meetings, and we have seen many of you there, and we have been concentrating on hearing about the situation or the realities in different regions and different countries for the NGOs, so that we would be more, we would understand more their local situations and the challenges of accredited NGOs. And the basis is, of course, the fact that there is an imbalance in the geographical representation of the accredited NGOs, and this is a kind of like a fundamental problem also for the convention, because it could work better if this kind of things would be more balanced, so it would be more equally represented, and then it would be more functional, of course. Yeah, we will go forward. We have drafted a mission statement with Cholponai. So we kind of, I was in the beginning giving this initiative with my organization, but then I'm very, very happy that Cholponai from Aigine is now here with us, and now we will be sharing this together, and hopefully having some future plans for the future chair in the coming agenda item. But anyways, the mission statement, so this is something that we have drafted from the grounds of the online meetings we have had before with Cholponai, and we will just go. Are you seeing my screen? Yep. Okay, so we will go this through. There are some general things that have been presented before, but please just raise hand virtually, or then just raise hand in the picture if you want to stop somewhere and ask, because it would be very nice to have a discussion on it. So this is just a draft, so we have to remember it, and we can still change it a lot if we want to. And there are some technical things also that we have to prepare so that we get it finished, like for example this picture here, and as you see the Kaloyan's PPT files. Well, how it says here. But anyways, hello, Gustavo, Jorge. Thanks for the mics. So we will go.
Hello, Matti. Hello, sorry.
No. Great to have you here. We're just going through the mission statement here.
And
So,
Matti,
yes,
maybe
please.
just I don't know. This is very small detail, but just so that we have the same figures. We at the steering committee we have 193 NGOs accredited. So I see here you've mentioned 189. I don't know who's right or who's wrong, but perhaps we could just have the same numbers. We usually use 193. So I don't know. Have you checked or it could be that we're wrong. I don't know, but our count is 193.
We will check it. Thank you.
Yeah, we will check it. I think we took these numbers according to the Kalyan's last presentation, or maybe it was not the
yes, it was some mistake.
Okay.
Yes. And there is a new preparation of the PPT, and I will show you. It's not 193 now.
193, right?
190.
193.
193. Okay.
193. Yeah.
193.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, this is very important that you point out if you see anything.
I thought it was a new updated number for this session.
No, just so that we're on the same page,
Yeah, it's good. It's important. I think it's
There's another mistake I want to point out from Kaloyan, but this was a huge mistake by everybody because we thought Curacao was in Latin America. Of course, it is in the Caribbean, but it depends from Region 1, since protectorate from Netherlands. So it's from electoral group 1. So it's 5 countries, Kaloyan, not 6 from Latin America until this moment.
good. Thank you. These are good points to understand and have the right numbers. Anyways, in the beginning we have the now wrong numbers, but in future the right numbers of the accredited NGOs, and kind of presented the problem that we are having. And this had been on many times before also. And we addressed the issue that this issue has been addressed before many times, and the convention thinks it's very important, and the steering group and the ICH NGO forum has addressed it also many times, that it's a crucial thing to understand and to address. Please, Janet.
Yeah, hi. I'm not sure, Matti, do you want us to make any comments as you're scrolling?
I think it would be nice if it's possible, because I didn't have the chance to.
Sure. Okay, just wanted to check before I jumped in. First of all, I think, to the list of documents, you might want to add the reports tabled to certainly the one this year, to the 16COM, the forum report. I can't remember now if I'm sure the topic must have been addressed in the 15COM report as well. So I think you might want to add those 2 reports to show that the forum formally is taking this very importantly. And my doorbell just went. I'm so sorry. I have to go and get a parcel. I'll come back.
Good. We will have this noted. Cholponai, can you take the notes for the mission statement? If so, we good.
Yeah, I think just to fill in some time here and to follow up on Janet's proposal, I agree. I think it's a good idea because we have a chapter on this issue in the report, so I think it would be good to refer to it because it has become a major concern, as you know, for the steering committee and also for the secretariat and for everyone, So it's a kind of, I think it's absolutely in the interest of your group to cite that section of the report. Yeah. Okay, Janet, sorry, I just filled in a bit of empty space here for you. So please pursue. I think you're muted. You're muted. Yeah.
I'm just apologizing for that super professional approach there, but if you don't go to the door, they just drive away again. Anyway, Are we on the next paragraph yet?
Yeah, we can be. We were
Okay,
still in the
'cause
same, but
I just had a thought that, you know, with the sentence at the first sentence, you talk about the aim to address and overcome. Maybe we should add before address, understand. Because I think the factors, reasons
that's very good.
various.
Yeah.
And we should assume that we know what they are.
It's a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah,
And this has been kind of the idea that we are kind of taking it slowly, because and noticing that this is like a very fundamental and big challenge to actually understand what's going on. So that we also use this working group for having presentations from different countries and then reflecting on what is the reality and actuality of the things. Thank you, Janet. Then creating capacity building materials and practical information for the NGOs in the underrepresented countries. So these kind of practical ideas that we have been getting throughout the meetings, where we are kind of have been concluding to the idea that we could make capacity building and awareness raising materials to potential accredited NGOs in the underrepresented areas, so that there would be a place for them to understand easily what is this accreditation, what does it mean, and what benefits might there be for their organization. So that would be kind of be before the nomination of application form, that they would kind of get the first idea of it, and then that we would do it in many different languages, so that we could really address the underrepresented areas. I think like Arabic, Russian could be good examples that if we could use this kind of short videos or easy access material, then that would be something concrete that we could go on with. Laurier, please. Your mic.
You're muted.
Your mic, Laurier.
Yeah, I think Gustavo, did you have your hand up as well?
Sorry.
Yes, I was underrepresented by Matti.
I think Gustavo was
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't see her. Okay.
Don't worry. I just wanted to mention that tomorrow they will be presenting the MOOC, the Massive Online Open Course from UNESCO. I strongly recommend everybody to attend to it. It will be open for all the people. So I think that is a good starting point for these materials for delivering for the underrepresented regions. And the other thing is, it's very nice to have. Give me a second.
The Mexican food coming.
Yes, the Mexican food. It's morning, so we're taking kids off the school, but okay. off to school. The other thing is, yes, I understand that the countries is it's different, but one of the things that Tim mentioned once we talked with him was that he needed to understand there are certain places in the world that have a very strong participation of civil society. And then again, they're not participating in the convention. There are other places where there's no civil society participation on a cultural context. So it's important to first understand what is the sense of the country in regards to non-governmental organizations, and then try to draft a strategic plan just to get their voice into the convention. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, sorry, Gustavo, when was that? That was today?
What?
The team said...
no, we had this meeting with him last year, and we talked about it. But it's important because he was really concerned about I think it was Indonesia, that has a very strong civil participation, but they were not participating at all in the convention. So it was just questions, you know, like what's going on with certain countries, why are they participating, and why is there certain countries that don't participate.
Very good. I think this is very good. It might be just some technical or simple issues actually that kind of is making this the way it is. Thank you, Laurier. You have your old hand, or
no? Okay, I have.
No, that was. Yeah,
I just had a few. Just a comment with regard to capacity building. You might want to consider training. People or help train people from the different regions to do the capacity building. So it's sort of training. Capacity building to future capacity builders in each of the regions, because from our survey we realized there are very specific problems in certain regions. For example, I sort of accompanied Bert with a couple of his interviews, and I just realized how challenging it was to do capacity building in Africa. Because first of all, like very basic problems like internet connections. Many people don't have, internet. Some have them, but they're not stable connections. So, some days they work, some days they don't. And so it was a real challenge to just to be able to, get in touch with people, and I'm just giving this sort of very basic example of a very basic difficulty. But, there are also specific, cultural ways of approaching people, and, and how the times, and it's just so culture specific that, I think it would be much more efficient to, because sometimes for Western Europeans or North Americans, it's hard to kind of get in that mindset and realize, how challenging these problems can be, So I think the approach of, helping, training people in the different regions to do their own capacity building could be a good one.
Very good. Yeah, definitely agree. Then there we have sorry, I don't see your name. There is one hand up.
Pinar.
Please.
Pinar.
Yes.
Pinar.
Pinar. Okay. Pinar. Okay, now I see it. Yeah, sorry.
Hello, everybody. I'm joining from Traditional Art Association Turkey. And in the graphic, we realized that from the Eastern European countries, there's a very limited number of associations, NGOs. In Turkey, what we realized, as you might all know, we have a very big and rich cultural heritage going back to centuries ago. So we thought that also in Turkey, we are accredited to UNESCO ICH Convention. However, there are more than 3,000 NGOs in whole Turkey, and only in Istanbul is more than 300 NGOs in ICH, dealing with ICH. So maybe UNESCO we can prepare a list, whatever necessary, and UNESCO can send an invitation, official invitation to those NGOs. And it can be applied to other countries as well.
Thank you. Cholponai, did you get it? Kind of a...
Yeah, I got it.
Like a concrete... okay, thank you. We will keep this in mind. Thank you very much, Pinar.
Thank you.
And then we will go on with mission statement. Just a minute. Yep. So we got some other input. Thank you for that. Then there is a little bit about the history, and then there is the background note which was prepared just before the establishing this working group. Any idea on these? Maybe they are kind of basic things. Then the last one's the objectives of the working group, and then we put also the activities. We could have like a separate activity plan or a strategy in a way for the year, but we decided to put it here. We can maybe not to have many to kind of a heavy paper load, but we can also separate them. But Janet, you have something, please?
Yeah, these are just really minor points about sort of redrafting words. In the first, it's after the word attention, to draw their attention to and raise their awareness about.
Thank you. Yes.
We didn't have a chance to edit the document yet.
No,
but,
I mean, I know these are really minor. If you don't want me to go to such a granular level,
please.
Are you sure?
Please do if you don't mind.
I wonder about the phrase in number 2. You talk about to targeted NGOs with potential for accreditation. Now I get it. You mean NGOs that have that potential, huh?
Yeah, for NGOs that are not yet accredited but might be in the future.
Yeah, then it would be with the potential.
With
I think that makes clear what you're saying there. And I'm at the moment I'm just going through the language. I'm not looking at substantive content. There was one more. I know. I just got to find it. Sorry. But yeah, it was just in number 4. So distribute, develop capacity building materials and practical information to, and engage a wide range of NGOs.
A wide, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I don't have any comments on substantive. I think you've really got a great range of objectives there. As I say, the only one that we might want to add, responding to the understand, is this question about just understanding what the challenges are, because they are so diverse. I mean, in our region, as Cholponai knows very well, a lot of the challenges are from the government side. You know, because many of our governments really don't like NGOs, finished. You know, but in other countries, the challenge is that organizations exist who don't recognize themselves as NGOs. They see the word NGO and they think it doesn't cover us, where in fact, they're cultural associations working in ICH who would be ideal to be accredited. So I would suggest that that's an important aspect as well. And just lastly, this is completely irrelevant, but I would just say Punar, not Pinar. Merhaba Punar Hanım.
Merhaba. Merhaba.
Thank you, Janet. Then we have Reem. And then, sorry, we have now many hands. It was Reem, Laurier, and then
Joan,
yes.
Joan.
Okay, thanks, Matti. Yeah, I mean, this is especially relevant for me as well, being a NGO from an underrepresented region. But I was just thinking about something. I was just thinking out loud. Other than the fact that we don't have that many NGOs who are accredited from these regions, even the issue with these regions as well, even the NGOs that are accredited have very little presence, or just as we saw yesterday, or even the meeting, I mean, the same activity that we did yesterday where regional groups got together and had a discussion, it was done also in Bogota. And I remember as well that my NGO was the only NGO that was talking to itself again. So do we have to differentiate between the two things? That one is encouraging more accreditations from these regions, but also getting down to the reason, or addressing the issue that the limited number that are accredited aren't there. We don't see them. There's limited participation from them. So that's just my point there. I don't know if you had an opinion or if anyone else would like to comment on that.
Yes, we have. Thank you, Rim, very much. I think we have discussed this matter a lot, actually. That should we focus on finding the new NGOs, or then trying to make the ones that are here more active, that are from the underrepresented areas? And I think both things are important. This is kind of where we have concluded, but yeah, nothing maybe more concrete. Thank you, Loria.
Yes, well, thank you so much for this. Some wonderful ideas. I just maybe wanted to suggest, well, when you develop the materials, to associate, of course, the NGOs from the underrepresented areas in the development of the capacity building materials, because, they could be, there could be some important differences that you want to take into account regarding, the cultures of the different regions, or, the technical difficulties, access to internet, for example. So I'd like to strongly suggest that you work with the NGOs from those regions when you develop the capacity building materials, to make sure that they're well adapted to their needs. The other point is that, also I've realized that a language, French in African countries, French-speaking African countries, French is the second language for many people, and it's not English. So, please take that into account. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time, getting responses from those NGOs. And perhaps a last point would be, maybe consider, because, it's consider maybe one-to-one interviews with certain NGOs, and there's not that many. And I've realized through the work that we've been doing, for the mapping exercise, that, it really makes a difference when you contact these people individually, because then you can, really discuss their specific problems, needs, and, explain to them individually, how they can become more active. And, sometimes it doesn't take that much more time, and it can have a larger impact than if you, try to speak to a dozen or a half dozen people at the same time. So, I know this is more time consuming, of course, but sometimes it's, if you take into account the impact that it has, well, it could be worthwhile. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is kind of, this is very intriguing, this one-to-one with your experiences now with the steering committee, that we could maybe use that in this working group. And I think we could add it into the mission statement, but also we can think that it's included in the outreach strategy that we are talking about. So this is kind of a strategy. How will we actually accomplish or reach out the NGOs or the stakeholders that we are trying to reach? So I think this is very, very important. Thank you. Joran, then Pinar after that.
Hi. Hello again. By the way, is it?
Sorry, Joanne, and then Pinar after that.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Picking up on Loria's point, I think that's an excellent idea in terms of that one-to-one, and not to be underestimated, that human interface, even if it's virtual, to engage people with the dialogue and the discourse around the ICH NGO forum, so people can see that they have a contribution to make, because for some, the accreditation process is an end in itself. So just going back to the earlier in terms of the remit and what you're trying to do, it strikes me there are two kind of aspects. There is the activation of existing accredited NGOs to get involved, and that their contribution is important and needed. And then the other issue of actually attracting NGOs to enter into the accreditation process. And if we're going to add that in, I think you have to factor in the consistency of the accreditation experience with the Secretariat interface. Janet and I were recently speaking to somebody in the Scotland environment who have not had a positive experience. So there is still some inconsistencies around the accreditation application process that I think need to be ironed out. Otherwise, we could end up raising expectation of, you're perfect for the accreditation process, go for it. And if the Secretariat isn't handling it right on the other end, we can almost alienate others. So it's two kind of approaches to the work, and some really valuable ideas coming up here.
Thank you, Joan. And this is something also, something like this we have discussed a lot, that like this working group, we can't kind of push too much the NGOs to be accredited, but they have to find out it by themselves that they want to be, and they really want to be eager, because if they have the false expectations, it won't help the big picture at all. So it's a very, very good point. Pinar, then.
Many NGOs, I think in many countries, don't know how to communicate or relate with UNESCO's ICH convention. So maybe is it possible, I don't know, is it possible for UNESCO, because each country must have a unit which is responsible from the NGOs. So they must have a list of NGOs related in ICH in their own country. So is it possible for UNESCO to relate with this units in the countries, take the list, and also they can take help from the NGOs like us, which are accredited to UNESCO already. So maybe it speeds up the process in a way. This is
Janet, please. Maybe you can.
Yeah, thank you, Matti. There's just something that just occurred to me. We talk a lot of the time about, working with our existing accredited NGOs to reach out to others in their country, which is an obvious strategy, right? But I think we also have to address the elephant in the room here, which is, I don't know, I can't speak for other people's countries, but I know that in ours, it's the opposite. In other words, once an NGO reaches the status of accreditation, they want to guard that jealously and not open the door to others, because they see it as a real benefit nationally, for their own position. And therefore, I think this is a kind of another aspect of the education that we have to work on. I mean, it's kind of challenging, I know, but I think we do have to at least address that this is the case in many places. And it was actually raised by one of my interviewees in the recent mapping exercise too. This very problem. Don't know how we'll get around it, but
Thank you, Janet. Did you have any, Janet, for the Pinar's or anybody else? Has anybody anything to add or to Pinar's idea about the like the overall problem or the challenge and the UNESCO Secretariat's role in it, in a way? Or
I think it was more like Pinar's idea, as far as I understood, that he was proposing to engage more of the NGOs accredited to spread the capacity building materials, or to raise the awareness of other NGOs of the convention, and to speed up the process. Was that right, Pinar? Did we get you right?
Yes, definitely. By connecting with the units in countries, whatever the name, under the name. For example, in our country, it's called Dervis. I'm sure every country has a unit dealing with the NGOs in general. So they can have a list from those units, and they can communicate with the NGOs in different countries.
Yeah. Actually, this was what we've discussed this with Matti quite a few times already, like the outreach strategy that we're going to employ, that would probably reach out to our national counterparts in the regions, or to the other active NGOs in the ICH NGO forum, and to the National Commission, and to spread the information and the capacity building materials. But also, it was a very good point raised by Joran. I also was writing it down about the activation of the participation of the existing NGOs in the NGO forum. So this is also quite a challenging, I guess, process, and we should probably take that into account as well in the work of this working group in order to raise the the representation of the NGOs. Yeah.
Thank you.
I really apologize. Please. I don't want to speak too much. I'm sorry. Just I wanted to suggest with regard to that experience which Joran mentioned, because this is an organization we know well, and it ticks every box. It literally does. It's a wonderful organization. And yet it was pushed back on the basis of something that's not even a criterion for accreditation. Now, this suggests that, and this is something the steering committee can consider in our report on the mapping exercise, because we were also asked to look at that process. And I think we should definitely suggest that at some level, the forum has to also be part of the process, because I think if we were part of the process, we could have much more easily intervened and said, wait a minute, there is a problem here. Yeah. And so I think that's definitely an issue. The other thing I wanted to say is, it seems to me that what you are doing is a wonderful opportunity also for a very close liaison and collaboration between the steering committee and your working group, particularly in the capacity building. In terms of, we have members from each regional grouping, so it's an obvious kind of contact point for you for going forward on that.
Yeah, thank you, Janet. I think this is very crucial here, that the steering committee will also tell about their ideas and ambitions, how the working groups, and I'm very delighted to see that we have tomorrow this session about the working groups, how they should function in collaboration with the steering group and so on. Of course, we are here to make things better, so make things work. So I think we all are keen to look for as effective a system as possible, so that we actually do accomplish something and not just have meetings, so to say. Very good.
Gustavo raised his hand.
Gustavo, okay. Yeah.
I just wanted to acknowledge that there are 3 members of my region present in the meeting. Giovanni from Colombia, Diana as well from Colombia, and there is Sigmund from oh my God, Suriname. I'm sorry. And so there are the 3 members, 2 of them new accredited and 1 in the process, so it's welcome for them. And I think in this sense that it's important that we have also regional meetings, just to understand, because we live in the region and we know the dynamics, and to understand how we can address best the way to invite and get more traction with people and countries. And so I suggest that we also have regional chapters of these underrepresented regions working group. Thank you.
Thank you. It is very good thing and noted. Reem, please.
Yeah, sorry, I also just wanted to make note that my colleague from Mauritania, Mr. Mohamed Bich, is here now, which is great. I'm not sure if he would like to intervene in French. I think he was asking me if we're talking about the issue of language. So me and him, I don't speak French, but we communicate in Arabic together. So أستاذ محمد إذا بتحب تتدخل تفضل.
Bonjour tout le monde. Est-ce que tout le monde m'entend? Est-ce que vous m'entendez, mes chers collègues? Est-ce que je suis... Excusez-moi, je vais parler en français rapidement pour évoquer les problèmes que nous avons dans les pays, dans nos régions, dans le domaine de la sous-représentation au niveau des ONG. Il y a un problème qui se pose qui est dû essentiellement au manque de sensibilisation dans nos régions. Au niveau régional, les communautés ne sont pas suffisamment sensibilisées autour du sujet de la Convention. C'est pourquoi notre ONG est active dans ce domaine. Nous avons préparé plusieurs ateliers pour faire connaître la Convention au niveau des communautés. Nous avons organisé un réseau national des ONG actives dans le domaine du PCI qui travaille actuellement en commun avec les communautés. Je sais que le patrimoine vivant, quand on parle de patrimoine vivant, on parle de personnes. Donc, tant qu'on n'arrive pas à mobiliser les personnes, on n'arrive pas à mobiliser les communautés. Les communautés, j'insiste, les communautés, on ne pourra pas grandir, on ne pourra pas avoir beaucoup de représentativité au niveau des ONG. Je fais un petit tour au sujet des activités de votre institution, que je respecte beaucoup pour l'effort qu'il fournit en matière de renforcement de capacités, en matière d'information, surtout en ce qui concerne les règlements intérieurs en cours et les bonnes conduites, le code qui est en cours de réalisation. Je vous remercie, je reste à votre disposition pour toute autre possibilité. Avec l'expérience que j'ai dans le domaine de la formation, surtout dans beaucoup de pays en dehors de la Mauritanie. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much. Maybe Laurier, can you take the job?
Yes. Well, to summarize what Mohammed has said, he said that he's one of the major problems is awareness raising for the NGOs in his region to know more about UNESCO, about what accreditation means, what it can bring to the NGOs, and he feels that this is where the work should be concentrated on awareness raising. This is a major issue for him, according to this, and he also thinks that it's important to have the capacity building tools adapted to the needs of the different regions. Which is something that we had already brought up. So that's, I think that about summarizes it. I hope I haven't left anything out. Mohamed, j'espère que j'ai rien oublié. Là, c'est pas toujours facile de traduire.
Oui, tout à fait.
Mais voilà.
Okay, thank you, Mohamed. Merci. Thank you, Laurier. We have 30 minutes and we have still many things to go on. So we have 5 minutes of a few minutes for this mission statement, and then we have to decide about the chair and the timetable of the future, because we have to stop at in 30 minutes. But Joran, I see your hand.
Hello, colleagues. First of all, sorry, I will be hopping in and out during these sessions. I'm taking care of my daughter who's ill this year. So if you see me arriving later, it's due to the circumstances. Of what I have heard here, I think I agree with many things that have been said. Also the idea of Jorge and Janet. I think maybe after listening a lot in the working group last year, we should just make a strategy now and maybe puzzle how we could make like a program. In 2017, we have started with regional working groups, but we didn't really continue the work. And I think that connects very much to the idea of Jorge and also of Joran about how you can work with the NGOs that are already there. On the other hand, I think there is really a need for awareness raising, for introduction. And there I proposed already yesterday and in this working group that maybe we can help each other. And that, for example, I am very happy to help one of the regions for a year to see how I can contribute for that region. I don't want to take over. No, I want to support, because in some regions you are with few people and then you might need just some facilitation, some help to get the process onwards. And maybe we could just launch like a format and people can propose to help in such region, or maybe for capacity building over all regions and so on. And the steering committee could see with with Matti and the other colleagues of the working group here how to puzzle such a program. So that was the way I was thinking I wanted to share.
Thank you very much. Very important thing. I think Cholponai, did you get it noted that there is a kind of a program, like facilitating program? We have been talking about this kind of a facilitating system, but I think this was very nicely put now, and we will go on. But if you, Cholponai?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I got kicked out and I can't log in back again. Sorry, I was.
But you have the double. Okay, good. But it's very good to have you here. Okay, so now we have to rush on, and I will just share the mission statement. So if I understand correctly, we can have these activities and objectives as we have planned. We will include the understanding point noted out here also, and then we will think that we are generating outreach strategy. So that will include the ideas of what we have here, even though we don't write them as they like word by word to the plans. Would this be agreed by everybody, or please we could have a 1 or 2 minutes discussion if you have something to add, but we have to be quick. Please, any Loria?
Just to think about the one-to-one interviews, I think there seemed to be some consensus. Maybe that could be added because, as I said, sometimes people are embarrassed to speak up when they're in a group because they don't speak French well or English well, or simply because they're afraid that maybe they haven't done the right things. If they're a new NGO and they don't want to get penalized for it, and so all of these things can play up, and you can. When you do the one-to-one interviews, you can really get much more direct information on the what the preoccupations of the NGOs really are. So I think that might be a good thing to add to the mission statement.
Okay. Agree.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we all can agree to that, as we have been saying. Yeah. Okay. So we will now go on. Janet and Jorge, sorry, I see Janet and then Jorge.
Is it me first? Okay,
yeah, please.
Very, very briefly. I think also we might want to talk about, and this is a general point, underrepresented sub-regions as well as regions. Because if you look at Asia Pacific, there are some parts of Asia Pacific, South Asia, which is flourishing. Then there are other areas like the Pacific where we've got almost no NGO presence. And so I think just to signal that it's not always regions as in electoral groups, regions, somehow. Just that point, thank you.
Very good point. Yes, sub-regions. And Jorge?
Oh, just, I'm sorry, I wrap it up early, but just wanted on behalf of the steering committee to recognize the work you've been doing, Matti, as well as Cholponai, on this working group. And I think it's very important that you're doing this effort, and we really acknowledge not only the way you handle it, both of you, Cholponai, this is also for you. Of course, Gulnara is always in my mind, but it's very important what you're doing and the process, the due process. We really appreciate the way you're handling things in the steering committee. We're working, we have a lot of big load of work. And in that sense, it's important that you collaborate with us, sending the materials, doing the report, everything on time. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. And just wanted to say that out loud for everyone.
Yeah, thank you. So I don't really want to be a party pooper, but I think, Matti, we have only 8 minutes left. So, and then we still have a couple more points in the agenda.
Yeah, please. So I take it so that, and thank you for your words, and we go on with the meeting. And Cholponai, please, you can take the lead.
Yeah, and then as I understood, we're on the schedule of the online meetings for 2022. So I'm really sorry, I was on my computer and then I just got kicked out and then I can't share it. We decided that it would be best to meet every 2 months, and we've already drafted meeting time for the 2020. So we will send the dates and months via email, but what we have for now is that we will meet on January, March, May, July, September, and November. And each month we will be doing our meeting on the last Thursday of the month. And we're proposing that we do the meetings at 9 a.m. GMT +1, it's the Paris time, and 3 p.m. GMT +1. So 1 month we do the morning meetings, and then the next month we're going to do the afternoon meetings. So just to be fair for all the people who are present from many different regions. So we've already have the months and dates and the time, and we will send it out so everybody is aware of it. And the other business, I think all your inputs were very valuable, and we've taken the notes, and we will update the mission statement and send you the updated version. And we really like to have your proactive participation in the working group. And one of the things that I would like to point out personally is that I'm kind of new to the ICH NGO Forum's work and all the working groups. But what I've observed is that not many working groups have like this fixed or not fixed, but what do you call it? More or less stable membership. I mean, the members come and go, and the participants come and go, but it probably would be great for the efficiency of the work of the working group is to have some kind of a core or base of members, so we could go forward with our work. So we would welcome you to be our active members. And that's all from my side. And if you would like to add anything else, it would be great to have your input as well. Yep.
Thank you, Cholponai. And then we have the one more thing on our agenda. Maybe we didn't now go through the way it was presented in the first place, but just to get all the issues addressed. I think that's the main point. Of course, I think with Cholponai we can talk about this membership with tomorrow with the steering committee and the working. Yeah, I think this is a good point. But then we have a suggestion with Cholponai and me to all of you that Cholponai would be from now on the chairperson of this working group, and I would be the secretary for the working group, and we are agreeing to that. And but of course, as the steering committee, please say if I have understood or we have understood it wrong. But as we have understood it, so that there is no formal kind of not yet a formal way to do it in a election way. So this is informal how we are kind of going on with these things. So we have this suggestion to all, and we are hoping that maybe we have a consensus on this, or then we have another ideas, and of course we are open to them with Cholponai and very, very, very much eager to work for the aims of the working group and not just to be here in charge. But please, is this okay to everybody, or other suggestions? I see thumbs up. So we will go, and we were thinking that we will every year in the committee meeting, working group meeting, we will have this same discussion also about this chair and secretary. And as I understood that there is no vice chair, there's only chairperson and secretary in the rules of the forum. So this would be the forum to go on. But this was maybe the last thing.
Matti?
Oh, please. Oh, sorry, I didn't see.
No, I completely agree. And well, since you're going to be secretary, I just wanted to make a suggestion that give the steering committee members a very short summary of your meetings. It doesn't have to be long, but just short summary, just sort of keep us informed. I think This is actually, I don't want to get too legal, but it's actually in our bylaws. And so we want to encourage the working groups to do this just so that we're informed and that we can, just help you out more. And, it's just a question of just better managing the whole group, Yeah. So we would, I think the steering committee members would really appreciate to have that,
Yeah, that is very,
yes.
Yeah, of course, yes. Thank you. Okay, I think we have 1 more minute, but I heard Kaloyan already said something, so I don't know if we have this minute or not, but anything else? Cholponai, everything we have addressed here?
Yeah, I think we've covered everything that we've discussed. And so any other feedback?
I can show the updated PPT.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, please.
Do you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. And now, Jorge, we have admitted by Jorge that Curacao is in region 1. And the summary here saw that 20 NGOs from 5 countries is in...
We don't see it, Kaloya, we don't see it changing. We only see them.
Okay, I will go back.
Actually, I think it's because maybe you'd have to take your share screen off, Matti. Sometimes when there's 2 share screens, it does that.
Now change?
Okay, good. Yeah, now we can see it. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Now this is states in a convention, NGOs by regions, states with accredited NGOs, and the last is element in the list, but it's not coming here. Okay, we already know this, and the new thing is new visuality of the information here I made. And this is new. This is distributed for suggested NGOs for accreditation in next General Assembly. We can see in the right is suggested for determination. There is 9 NGOs for determination. Last time, 1 or 2 NGOs was not determined because they send their application and nobody knows what's going on. But if we have all will be added in a General Assembly, the distribution will be in a green line. You see that the distribution of NGOs will be almost same, only in region 3 and region 1 there is more up of the by percentage, of course. And last time that we showed the presentation, there is added all countries and by names who have NGOs and how many NGOs for every region. We have statistics coming from website of the convention for every region. And maybe after the session of GA, it will be uploaded in a space of working group that we have in a website of the ICH NGO forum for more clear information. This is the news that was added. If there is something new that we must add it's okay. But this is all information that have synthesized from from the website of accredited NGOs in convention. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Kalyan, very much for the presentation. I mean, it's really good, the valuable information. Okay, so and then with that, I guess we can call it a day. And thank you so much for your participation, for your valuable inputs. And it was really great to see you all here. And we really look forward for your proactive participation in the working group. And we really hope that our mutual and joint efforts will contribute and we'll be able to somehow meet our objectives. Yeah. Thank you so much for everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah. See you. Bye. Thank you again.
Bye.